Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Spenceport High School for the 2019 Cosgrove Middle School Moving Up Ceremony. My name is Jim Santola, principal at Cosgrove. At this time, if you could please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. This afternoon is truly an exciting day in the lives of our students, and I could not be more excited to be here with you. In just a few minutes, you'll hear from each person up on stage. And students, as we move through today's ceremony, I would really encourage you to listen to what everybody has to say, as we can learn a lot from the advice of others. You know, as I sat at home this past weekend and thought about this class and what I wanted to say, one of the first things that I thought about was the unique and the special bond that I feel with you. And it sounds kind of strange because I never had the opportunity to work with you as your assistant principal, which, now that I think about it, maybe that's a good thing because it seems like every administrator that works with this class leaves. You know, like Mr. Dale went to Elba, and then Mr. Sabera went to district office, and now Mrs. Pincelli's leaving us for Taylor. All kidding aside. So we joined Cosgrove at the same time. When you were sixth graders, I remember coming over from the high school, and candidly, you made me feel a little better because we had the same look in our eyes on that first day. I still remember during your sixth grade year, it seemed like we each helped each other find the art classrooms in the fax hallway, which sometimes I still forget. You were an amazing group in sixth grade, as you are now. I loved watching this slideshow over the past few minutes as you walked in, especially seeing the pictures of you as sixth grade students. Students, as you think back to your sixth grade year and the nervous excitement that you had as you entered Cosgrove, like, would you be able to open your locker? Would you be able to find your way? And then as you moved to seventh grade, your schedule became a little bit crazier. And then eighth grade has been so much fun to watch you become upperclassmen in the school and to take on that leadership role and to help our sixth and seventh graders as they transition to Cosgrove. I hope that your 3 years at Cosgrove is filled with fond memories. I know there have been those days, but on the whole, I hope you've had a wonderful experience at Cosgrove like we've had with all of you. I know that you're excited for the high school and all that the high school has to offer. I also know that there will be a few nervous moments as the fall approaches. After all, you're leaving a school where every teacher and staff member in the building cares about you and is there to help you succeed. But here's the good news. You're entering a school where every teacher, staff member, administrator, and counselor is here to help you succeed. And it's not just me saying that. Having taught here for 11 years, I know firsthand it's true. As Mrs. Pincelli and I were preparing for today and we were talking about our speeches, she asked me, so what advice are you going to offer to this group of students? And after thinking for a few minutes, there's two pieces of advice that I would offer you. The first is to focus on next year, your freshman year. A successful ninth grade year sets you up for success for the remainder of your high school career. A successful freshman year gets you on track for graduation and for opportunities like WMOCO, New Visions, and service learning, just to name a few. My second piece of advice would be to get involved at the high school. If your high school experience simply consists of going to school from 7:25 to 2:10, I would argue that you're not getting that full high school experience. Get involved. Get involved in sports, the play, robotics, join a club, create a club, anything, but get involved outside of the school day. The next 4 years of your life will go fast, believe it or not, so getting involved gives you those memories and those special experiences. Thank you, class of 2023, for all that you have given to Cosgrove. Perhaps the biggest compliment that I can offer you is that you are leaving Cosgrove a better school than when you started 3 years ago. Thank you for the memories, and I wish you all the best in high school. I look forward to running into you over the next few years at different events, and I mostly look forward to seeing all of you together again on Friday, June 23rd, 2023. Congratulations. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Telsey Pincelli, 8th grade assistant principal.
Good afternoon. I am honored and privileged to have had the opportunity to work with such a unique group of students. And what I mean by unique is being only one of its kind, unlike anyone else. It was a unique year for me, a year in which I had the unique opportunity to watch the 3rd graders who were in my care 5 years ago at Canal View Elementary now mature through 8th grade. It was a unique year in that it was our one and only year together. As I have told many of you, I just could not stay at Cosgrove if you won't stay with me. As your assistant principal, I hope that I have challenged you this year, challenged you to be responsible enough to fix the little things that seem to hinder you from being and doing your best, and to be respectful, to always say thank you, and I appreciate that, to all of those who help you reach the milestones in your life. While I hope that I have supported you through this final year of Cosgrove, I believe that it is me who must thank all of you. My grandmother gave me a book, Lessons of Life, Wisdom from Our Grandparents, many years ago, in which she wrote pages and pages of advice from a life well lived. This year, you have, through each passing day and interaction, had a profound influence in my life and my career as a principal. Here are the life lessons that you have shared with me. Number 1, when mistakes happen, simply say you're sorry. Young people are understanding. Number 2, being liked is different than being respected. Respect is earned over time. Judge less what young people say and more by what they do. It prevents us from making false judgments of each other. Listen well. Choose your words carefully and be especially positive even when the situation is not. Young people thrive on optimism. Young people have opinions and expect to be heard. Their First Amendment rights that they are learning today will prepare them for the important work that they will engage in tomorrow. Accept all young people for who they are. Most of the time, what young people say and do is a factor of their unique and wonderful personalities. Work with young people and find a common ground. Finding common ground helps open the lines of communication between generations, yours and mine. I stand here not thinking of my contribution to the development of our young people, but how they have helped to develop me. I am not claiming victory for their successes, but instead recognize that they have helped claim victory over mine. I stand here in all sincerity telling parents and families that your children are truly special. I offer many thanks to our graduates who have made me a better person and who have made Spencerport a better place to live and to learn. I offer my thanks to our 8th graders for being the best teacher I could have ever had. I will miss you all. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Pincelli. Next to speak is Mrs. Julianne Henninger, 8th grade counselor at Cosgrove.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome all of the staff, administrators, families, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2023. You are the reason that we are here today. We are celebrating the past 3 years of hard work, laughs, tears after an argument with a best friend, late nights finishing science projects, sports games, spirit weeks, Groundhog Olympics, band and chorus concerts, conquering those terrifying combination locks as incoming 6th graders, to now many of you getting your work permits and searching for a job. I was truly humbled when I was asked to speak at the ceremony today. My role as a school counselor is often behind the scenes, yet for 3 years I have followed the journey of each of you. Thinking about my conversations with you and what I wanted to share today, I was overwhelmed with wonderful memories. Some of these may have been personal victories, that none of your peers even knew you were struggling with, but that I had the privilege to support you along the way. Or it may have been an academic victory, and I was able to see you dig down deep to earn that first time ever an honors flex as an 8th grader. It may have been a social victory, and I was able to see you work through 2 years of friend drama, only to see everything click one day and gain confidence in your own self-worth. You realize that a very difficult situation ends up being a tremendous victory and ultimately a positive life lesson. Maybe you are the student who was painfully shy in 6th grade, but is now an 8th grade leader who has found their own voice and is now able to advocate for what you need. And in times of your sadness, when there are no words to provide comfort, I offered you a simple hug before helping you regain composure and get you back to class to finish out the day. All of these unique, personal, and consistent connections over 3 years is what makes the role of the counselor a very special one for ceremonies like this. A perfect example of the growth and maturity comes from an activity each student did with me during our very first individual check-in during 6th grade. I had each student complete a get-to-know-you worksheet. I told them that I would keep this filed away until our very last check-in of 8th grade, at which point we would review each of the answers and see what has changed and what had remained the same. This was the first time that I had done this with the class, and the end result was incredible. The students' reactions to hearing what they said as 6th graders often gave both of us great laughs. One of the questions that I asked was, what do I do when I'm mad or sad? I read the answer one 8th grade gave me at the beginning of 6th grade. He said, I curl up in a ball on the floor and cry. He immediately burst out laughing hearing that now, as a tough and confident 8th grader who will remain nameless. When I asked how it has changed, he nonchalantly said, I can just brush things off now, it's no big deal. So when I think of the maturity and growth you have all made over the past 3 years, I'm so excited to think of what you will do over the next 4 years of high school. You will only continue to excel with each new academic, social, family, and personal situation that you encounter and overcome. These are only learning bumps in your life. So keep moving forward even when it is difficult. These are the times you need to dig deep and turn to the people who are supporting you. Your teachers, administrators, counselors, coaches, family, and anyone else who is behind you, gently guiding you along. Thank you, 8th graders, for so many wonderful conversations and laughs over the years. I hope you enjoy these last couple weeks of 8th grade like only 8th graders can do. Good luck. Thank you.
Thanks, Mrs. Henninger. This is probably my favorite moment of our ceremony this afternoon because it is that symbolism of transferring from middle school to high school. So at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Sean McCabe, Spenceport High School Principal.
Good afternoon. My name is Sean McCabe. I am the principal here. It's my 8th year I'm finishing as the high school principal, my 13th as an administrator here at the high school. I certainly want to thank all of the family, the friends, the relatives, the guardians that are here today to help celebrate this accomplishment of our 8th grade students. It's certainly a testimony to the support and encouragement that you provide your students, so that's simply outstanding. I will tell you, many of your parents may be nervous about your child making this transition from 8th to 9th grade. I was sort of where you were last year. I was standing here, right where I am, but my daughter was an 8th grader last year at Cosgrove and moved up this year and is just finishing her freshman year at the high school. And I will assure you that our staff work very hard to ensure that it's a very smooth transition and that there's plenty of support provided for our students and our parents as they transition from Cosgrove to the middle school, or to the high school, excuse me. So this is truly one of my favorite events of the year because it's an opportunity to congratulate each one of our 8th grade students on their successful completion of middle school. But not only would I like to congratulate you, our 8th grade students, but certainly I'd like to congratulate your teachers, your parents, and family, because without their support and encouragement and guidance, you would not have been able to achieve the success that you have over the last 3 years at Cosgrove. Your experiences over the last 3 at Cosgrove have prepared you well to make the transition to Spencerport High School. The staff and faculty of the high school are eagerly awaiting your arrival in September. We have been preparing for you, believe it or not, since November, and we'll continue these preparations throughout the summer. In a few weeks, I will be speaking at another ceremony held at the Civic Center at SUNY Brockport. Some of your older brothers and sisters may be taking part in it. Show of hands, you don't have to discuss, but how many of you have a brother or sister that is graduating in a few weeks, or a neighbor? Okay, great, fantastic. It's an exciting time for them. It's an exciting time for us at the high school to celebrate their accomplishment of graduating from the high school. 4 years ago, they were sitting where you are, getting ready to make the transition to high school. If you were to ask the majority of our seniors, they would share that the last 4 years have felt like a blink of an eye. So make sure to create as many wonderful memories as you can while you are here. Be involved in clubs, activities, and sports. Try something new. There's such a great opportunity for all of you as you begin your high school careers. As I've alluded to, this ceremony is particularly important to me because as the high school prepares to say goodbye, we are also getting ready to welcome you. I would ask that you remain focused on academics over the last few remaining weeks of your middle school careers. You are not high school students yet. Your teachers at the middle school will be continuing to work with you until the final day of school to provide you with the skills and knowledge to have a successful and enjoyable 9th grade year. In late August, we will be having our 9th grade orientation. During orientation, we will talk in detail about academics, school procedures, expectations at the high school. You'll have an opportunity to meet some teachers and staff, follow your schedule, set up your locker, get your laptop, etc. So please, I'm going to ignore that announcement. So please, do not worry about those things over the coming months. Today's ceremony is more of an opportunity to celebrate your accomplishments to date. So with that, let me once again congratulate both you and your families and teachers. This is an important accomplishment, and you should each be proud of yourselves. I'm truly looking forward to seeing each of you next year. I hope each of you enjoys the rest of the ceremony and that the remaining few weeks of the middle school experience are rewarding and enjoyable. In years past, we would now be hearing from your assistant principal that would be taking over for you as your 9th grade assistant principal. However, 2 of our current assistant principals are leaving the high school at the end of June and moving on to other jobs within the Spencerport Central School District, which I am thrilled about. Mrs. Placido will be our new AD, and Mr. O'Connor will be our Director of Student Information Services. We have hired 2 wonderful new assistant principals, and I'm currently in the process of determining which classes they will be working with. But fear not, you will have an opportunity to meet with them during 9th grade orientation prior to the start of the school year. So at this point, it is my great pleasure to be able to introduce to you some of our amazing students that I have the opportunity to work with on a daily basis here at the high school. First, you will hear from our co-presidents of student government, Megan Laubacher and Stella Shortino, and then you will hear from our senior class president, Mahdi Abamali, for his final thoughts on his senior year here at Spencerport. So thank you very much. I'll turn it over to Megan and Stella.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the high school. My name is Megan Laubacher, and I'm a junior here at Spencerport. I've had the opportunity and pleasure to serve as student government president for our school for the past 2 years, this past year alongside my good friend Stella. As we enter our senior year, we look forward to seeing so many of you branch out and become members of our student government, STUGO for short, and so many of the other clubs and activities our school has to offer. Whether you love sports, music, volunteering, foreign language, robots, You name it, I promise Spencerport has something for you. The possibilities are endless. We have over 35 clubs and 25 varsity sports teams. For me, I love Stugo. Stugo has given me countless opportunities to strengthen my skills as a student and as a member of my community. It has also pushed me far out of my comfort zone and helped me to achieve so many goals I never thought were possible. I'm very nervous when it comes to public speaking. However, when I sat in your seats 3 short years ago, the student government president stood before us and mentioned the state leadership board that she was a part of. The next year, I was given the opportunity to go on our leadership trip to Ellenville, New York, where I made several friendships that I will never, ever lose. Not only did I make these long-lasting connections, but I was inspired to run for a position for our state's leadership board the following year. Although it took all of the courage inside of me to get on that stage and deliver a speech, much like today, I am so glad my advisors and peers cheered me on and motivated me to run for a position. I'm so thankful for the year that I spent working with our state's leadership board and now have so many connections around our state that I know will pay off. I really hope every single one of you takes the chance in high school to become involved and grow as a student, whether it be on our state's leadership council or in any of the other clubs our school has to offer. In fact, I challenge each and every one of you to step out of your comfort zone. Try out for a new sports team, join a new club, and take an AP class. You have all the opportunities in the world ahead of you, and I truly hope you not only take them, but embrace them, learn from them, and grow into the amazing people all of us know you can be. These next 4 years will fly by, so work for everything you can get out of it and enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Hello, class of 2023. I'm Stella Shortino, president of student government, alongside Megan. 3 years ago, I sat in this auditorium and listened to people tell me not to take this time for granted. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that it's going to go by fast because you're already well aware of that truth. All I can do is tell you all the incredible things that this school has given me. All I can do is that. I can't stress enough how important it is to truly explore the array of opportunity that will meet you as soon as you walk in these doors. I want to encourage you to do it all. Go to all the sports games, all the school dances, join a club of your interest, robotics, sports team, or the drama club. This experience will be what you make of it. Joining student government freshman year was the best decision I ever made. Mrs. Wyant has mentored me in a way I will be forever grateful for, and this club has given me memories I will cherish long past my years here. We offer trips for clubs that span from Albany to Nashville to Europe. Some of the best times I've had have been traveling to the NYSCLSA Leadership Conference with student government every year, as well as my recent trip to Spain. You will develop the most incredible relationships with teachers and learn how capable you are of greatness. I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. It's what I live by every day. My freshman year, I was devastated after losing the class presidential election. However, losing the election landed me in the advisement of a teacher who has absolutely changed my life and how I view school. From then on, I've decided to welcome every seemingly uncomfortable or disappointing scenario. There will be challenges that come your way, and you will be faced with situations which are new to you. Let it happen. Embrace difficulty with adversity and let yourself grow as a result of it. Who you surround yourself with will be crucial to your experience here. Choose wisely. My friends are the best part of my life, and I hope you all develop similar relationships. Enjoy your time here and have absolutely no regrets. Lastly, boys, you won't understand this yet, but please listen to your Powder Puff coaches. Thank you, and I'll see you around.
Hi, everyone. My name is Madi Abermella, and I'm the 2019 Senior Class President. You guys are moving up, and I want to welcome you to the high school. My 4 years here have been filled with restless nights and stress, but also excitement and amazing people. The first thing you'll be introduced to will be a bigger building, but the high school isn't daunting. Remember how quickly you learned Cosgrove in and out? You'll have the same experience here. Along with the bigger building comes bigger experiences. From my perspective, I can guarantee high school will be better than your middle school days, but along with that comes with more schoolwork. Hard work in high school actually pays off. It isn't just something teachers say to motivate you. It is rewarding and will bring you satisfaction. Speaking of hard work, I had been interested in being part of student council since freshman year, but I lost that first run. I didn't let that defeat me and ran for vice president the following year and won. I finally became the class president, the head of my class, senior year. If I had become discouraged and given up, someone other than me would be standing here talking to you today. The whole point of high school is to step out of your comfort zone and try to recreate yourself into a better person than who you are coming in. You will have the best years of your life during high school. Your experiences here will be something you'll never forget. From powder puff games, pep rallies, spirit weeks, prom, balls, sports clubs, and even school trips, each are events that will make you love high school. Don't be afraid to get involved in new activities. The next 4 years will introduce you to adventure, and there's something for everyone, but only if you seize the day. But I'm going to be real with you guys. There will be moments where you don't want to do your work, you're stressed about grades, or are struggling with motivation. Those times will be as relevant as the good times and will help mold who you become. So always keep moving towards your goal, one small step at a time. Good luck, class of 2023. You are the future. What are you going to do to make it count? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCabe, and to all of our students for speaking. We have one final speaker this afternoon. So at this time, I would like to call up the class of 2023 President, Trevor Pettit.
As I was preparing for this speech, I asked my aunt for any ideas. She told me about this one quote that had always stood out to her that she heard from a not-so-famous waiter about 10 years ago at a Friendly's restaurant. The quote is, "Half the world is waiting for the other half to smile." This quote applies to us more than anyone, anytime. When she initially shared this quote with me, honestly, I don't think I fully understood what it meant. The more I thought about it, the more I understood why she had shared it to me and its relevance to our moving up ceremony as we enter the high school. On the most basic level, when we get to the high school and you're passing somebody in the hallway and wondering who is going to be the one to say hello first, you need to be the one to say hello first. This applies to a much greater scale. Instead of waiting for somebody to be the first to raise their hand to admit that they struggled with chapter 19 and 20 in The Giver, be the one to admit that they honestly did not get it. Because I guarantee you that 9.9 out of 10 times, there will be somebody else with you in that classroom struggling with that. It doesn't just apply to academics. If you're struggling with making new friends, depression, or other mental health issues like anxiety, stress, or anything that falls in between, do not be afraid to admit, because like I said, 9.9 out of 10 times, someone else could be struggling with that. I want you to take this quote and think how you can apply it to your everyday life, in and out of school. As we enter the high school, it is important for us to remember that we are never alone, and that sometimes it's up to us to be the first ones to reach out and step forward.
Thank you, Trevor. Well done. In just a moment, we will proceed to the processional. And before we do, I just have two quick housekeeping announcements. Parents, students, if you are taking your child home right after today's ceremony, please make sure that you sign out on the sign-out sheets in the cafeteria, the high school cafeteria. There's no need to head back to Cosgrove. Students, if you're taking the bus home, you'll head back to Cosgrove, and we'll be back by 2:50 for you to get the bus home. Second announcement, many students, Mrs. Pincelli and myself, are headed for Boston first thing tomorrow morning. The students that are heading to Boston, please make sure you are on time as we are pulling out on time tomorrow morning. If you are not going with us to Boston, we hope to see you in school. If you are not coming to school, please make sure you call in just like you would any other day. So at this point, we're going to begin the stage processional crossover. Students, You'll be called up by row. Mrs. Bowerman will, one more minute, everybody. You'll be called up by row, head up the ramp, receive a certificate from Mrs. Henninger, and then follow the ramp to my left, right into the cafeteria.
Thank you.